Thank you so much for joining us today. Today we're talking about a topic that some of us don't even want to think about, and that is the home pages of our website. Now, our home pages are really important. They're the first impression that people get of who your company is when they're coming to your website. But a lot of us as businesses have kind of messed up the home page, and we do things that are just completely wrong. And before I go any further with some of the mistakes that we make and some of the things that we can do to correct the mistakes, I want you guys to really think about your home page as if it were your physical home. When people come into your home, guests, you want them to have an experience. You want them to have a good first impression, and you want them to feel invited to come in even more. You don't want your guests to stand at your front door and be turned off and turned away. That's why real estate agents tell you to make your home more inviting by like baking cookies or something like that to make it more appealing. And the same things that real estate agents are telling you to do, you need to do with the homepage of your website. You need to invite visitors in. You need to draw them in. And a few different ways that you can do that is by making your message emote, make them feel something, make them create an experience when they come to your website, make them feel happy about themselves, or make them feel happy about the products or services or the things that your products and services will do. Another thing that you can do when they come to your website is to motivate them. Give them something uplifting, something inspirational, something that's going to kind of make them curious about your product, your service, and what you have to offer them. But most importantly, you need to speak to them. Don't speak to them about how great your products and services are, because they don't care. Speak to them in their language and words that they can understand. Some things not to do. First of all, resist the urge to just put it all out there. Now, remember what the purpose of your website is. Your ultimate goal is to build a foundation for your relationship with this new visitor or this new potential customer that comes to your website. And the way that you build relationships in the real world is very much the same way you do it in the virtual world, and that's with trust. And it's also over time. So just like you wouldn't meet a person on the first day and say, hey, this is my whole life. This is everything that's going wrong and right with me, and I just want to tell you that up front. No, you don't do that. So in the virtual world, when it comes to your website, you don't have to tell them everything up front, but a lot of our websites have just about everything you can think of on that home page, and you're just turning people off. It's just overwhelming for someone that doesn't know much about your company to process, and they'll just click away from your website if they don't see anything of interest to them, or if you confuse them with information. So resist the urge to put it all out there. The second thing that I want you guys to do when it comes to your homepage is to use headlines. There's a reason why newspapers, magazines, just about any print publication uses headlines throughout. You have some text that's bigger than others, and then subheaders underneath, and then you have the main content. The same is true with your website. Throughout your website, and especially on your home page, readers are not typically going to read all the content of your site up front. The way that they read is that they look at the big text, the small text, and they get a general idea about who you are, what your products and services are, what you're trying to tell them, and that message you're trying to communicate to them. And if you're not using headers and subheaders in your text and in your content, then you're probably losing them, because that big paragraph that you have, or 10 paragraphs that you have, just looks like a lot of characters and text, and it's not communicating a message to them. And the third thing, the final thing that I want you to remember not to do with your homepage is not to use the flashy thingies as often, or to be very, very careful with your flashy things. Many people are generous with the marquees and the floating text and the flashing lights, and I mean, it's just like Vegas gone wrong. I remember one of my favorite movies a long time ago was Men in Black with Will Smith, and I forgot what the other guy's name was. I forgot what his name was, but I remember they had the flashy thing where they took it and they put it in front of someone's face, and it erased everything out of their memory. Okay, don't flashy thingy your customers. When they come to your site, you want them to create an experience, but that's not quite the experience that you want to create. Be very careful with, if you have a slider, be very careful with how you present the information on your slider. Give it to them in little pieces. Don't overwhelm them. Don't turn them off and turn them away. So those are my suggestions for your homepage. Hopefully you take them into account. Hopefully you start to think about how your home pages are affecting and how it communicates your message to your target audience. And if you need help with developing your homepage, or if you need help if you want us to review your homepage for you, we've had a few of those, then just give us a shout and we'll be more than happy to help you out.